Hey Pepper Gang, Blooming Grove is the map you start off on your Seeker's journey, so I wanted to make a quick guide discussing what to expect on this map, what you can find, and tips on navigating it. I am using a community created map I found in the official Discord to reference it. I'll have it linked below as well. As of now, BG is capped at 300 gear score. There has been quite a lot of feedback asking this cap to be lowered, since a new player coming in around the 100 to 140 mark will still get demolished by a team of 3 on this map at the gear score cap. For the time being though, we gotta just adapt, be flexible, so if you're in your first few hours of gameplay, just keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention when other teams eliminate bosses on the map and grab their keys so you can react accordingly. A good way to gain info on the raid is to look at the captured keys next to the timer on the top of the screen. As that number goes up, you can make educated guesses on how many people are in raid, combined with seeing when monsters appear on the map. Like MOBAs, all info is golden and can help you make the right play. If you are a solo and worried about being rushed, you can actually extract without a key, so you can go all raid without giving teams that info too. If you're a team needing all 3 keys though, there's going to be a good chance your second or third boss might get contested, so be prepared when approaching them. Now traditionally on BG, you will see teams spawn, kill the small normal mobs near the spawn, then go for their first mini boss such as Rootling, Korya Jr., or Arbor Druid. Typically afterwards, most teams will go deeper into the map onto the next nearest boss, typically a rare or uncommon plus boss like in Kaser Jr. As you can see, there's this sort of traditional lane feeling you can follow similar to MOBAs to PvE on Blooming Grove. If you want to keep teams on their toes though, I would not follow this traditional lane, just go boss to boss, especially if I'm solo no fill. I like to move around and go for further bosses from my spawn sometimes to create distance between teams right away. If I win the PvP, which is kind of rare on BG for me, I'd rather just go on there and farm and learn new Seekers. I will try to push a team while they're farming their next boss and catch them with their guard and health down. Third partying is probably one of the best ways to take advantage of PvP, especially on such a small map. At the end of the map, you will see 2 bosses in the heart of the forest. Do not approach these bosses unless you are over the 300 CR score requirement. I have taken lower score teammates nearby, and even if I'm a high level, the bosses will produce an unavoidable AoE attack that will knock down your teammates instantly if they're too low in gear. It's a protection to force players to progress through gear and other bosses before trying to take on tougher world bosses. I'm not a big fan of this mechanic in the game. I know a lot of people aren't, but I understand why it's there. Now both bosses are doable solo. I've done it with June, Rhea, and even Sierra, one of the weaker Seekers. It just takes longer with certain Seekers. I do visit the heart of the forest often, even if I'm not there for the bosses, because there's shards you can farm all over the place. You make a habit of farming them every time you're near, do a little rotation around the heart of the forest, you will have a constant supply for BG to craft you gems. There's other resource boxes and bases you can hit on BG, but they're quite common. Shards are what you will desire most of the time. Around the heart of the forest, there's also 2 extra mobs where you can get a permanent cooldown reduction for the raid or an attack buff. Now besides the normal PvE and PvP opportunities, BG has the wishing well you can use, my favorite feature in the game. It's a good spot to quickly level up to if you farm the mob around it. I recommend hitting the well when solo, and if you see the surge event, it's a great way to get slotted gear. And BG also has the meteorite event, an airdrop. I see it land near the well often and in the corrupted forest as well, but you can see on this map where the other locations are. If you hit the meteor, the game will notify the rest of the raid who opened it up, so be careful if you're trying to be stealthy. The other event you will see is the vault. The vault requires you to eliminate 2 mobs protecting a blue and red key notified on the map. You can leave the raid and sell each key for 450 gold, or take both keys to the vault for a chance at great gear. BG is quite small, so you can hit many of these in-raid events in the same raid while still successfully extracting. It is one of the nice things about a small map. Now around the 3-minute mark, the mandatory Seeker bounty event happens where all players are shown on the map. If you see no one else on BG at this point, everyone else is dead or left, so I recommend you make the most of those last couple minutes. I have managed to leave at the 1-minute mark, still make it across the map to my extract. Those couple minutes can make a huge difference in how much loot you extract. In regards to other info on chests and loot, there's 2 backpack chests that I like to hit on BG. One is between Druid Circle and Lake Junt, and the other is on the far left of the corrupted forest, typically near a solo extractor here. You will have a quest for hitting this type of chest, so make sure you know where these chests are. Throughout the map, there's also uncommon chests and some uncommon plus. It's a good way to fill up your back with goodies on the way out, but I also like to consolidate a lot of this crappy gear I get from these boxes at the wishing well before I leave. You want rare plus, you gotta go farm those tough bosses or go ahead and start learning Ancient Veil. Lastly, if you need consumables, there is a spot for boxes to break just right up the wishing well and in this right part of the corrupted forest. These consumable boxes have saved my life many times in PvP situations and when I'm running away from teams. But that's pretty much everything you need to know for Blooming Grove as a new player. I hope the video helps you get the understanding of how it plays out, helps you find certain things you need, and makes your new player experience easier. PvP will still find you on this map, especially in its current iteration. Its small size makes it unavoidable sometimes, and this is the nature of extraction PvP PvE games. Sometimes death is just inevitable while you're learning. I just recommend you do what you can to learn after each death and be selective in your PvP. I also recommend holding down T and white flagging teams if you're avoiding PvP and learning. Many veteran players will honor this flag, especially if we see you're a much lower level new player. We just want you to get the hang of the game, at least I do. Anyway, like other guides, join the official Discord, which is linked below if you want more help. Lots of veterans in the Discord to help you out. And swing by my live stream where I play a lot of Seekers and can answer questions there, or you can just drop them below. Thank you for watching, guys, and if you haven't yet, check out this new player guide suggested at the end for Seekers. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.